Now 6 o'clock, so we're going to call the council meeting to order. At this time, there's no regrets for tonight's meeting. And now we're going to pause to seek guidance. And I'm going to read the mission statement. It's to provide, promote, or facilitate municipal services that meet the community needs while preserving, supporting, and enhancing the quality of life for all. Is there any additions or deletions to tonight's agenda?
I move approval of the agenda as presented.
I'd like to add one thing though first, and that would be under new business items 5.5. Southwest African Heritage Month dinner and dinner. Anything else? Been moved. Do I have a seconder?
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Now, administrative and procedural items. No delegations, no presentations. You've got the minutes before you for November the 26th.
I move approval of the minutes from November 26th, 2018.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approved. The next is the unfinished business from the minutes of November the 26th. Is there any? Hearing none, we're now going to move on to the CAO report. You've got the meeting dates and reminders. Is there any conflicts?
Looking good.
Oh, yes, for me. On March the 18th, bylaw and policy, I will be in Yarmouth. There's no way I can get back in time.
Okay. Action items from the previous meetings. Right. The Digby County ATV Club letter of support for name of Trailbridge. The letter was sent to Minister Hines, and pleased to say the province has approved the Digby County ATV Club's suggestion. The name is Flatiron Cross for the name of the Trailbridge. Is there any updates on any capital projects? Any questions for the CAO on that? Hearing none, financial reports. Give a motion to approve the financial reports for November 2018.
I so move the approval of November 2018 payables in the amount of $412,659.13.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. The next is the tables for December 2018.
I so move to pay the payables of December 2018 in the amount of $437,729.45.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Income and payables expense report for November and December. Anything on that? The question I had was pertaining to the provincial grant renewal, and I noticed that it didn't look like there had been payment for a very little one. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I'll follow up to find out when we usually receive that grant, or the grant renewal.
Okay. Next is the update on the strategic priorities work plan.
Could you speak a little louder so the rest of us can hear down here?
Okay, this mic's not working, I take it.
No.
Okay.
Get closer.
Oh, but can you hear me better when I?
Yeah.
Good.
Not that loud.
Sorry about that. Is there anything in the strategic priorities that you want to bring forward at this time? Or is there any questions for the CAO pertaining to the priorities?
So this update just recognizes and updated as to the last time council reviewed the strategic priorities, and some of the now items have been dealt with, and we moved a couple of issues up from the next to the now.
Since I missed last, the whole meeting, I'll probably have a couple questions at a later date.
Okay. If there's nothing else on that, we're going to move on to the standing committee items, bylaw and policy. Recommendation to appoint Councillor Tudor to the executive committee. Can I have a motion to?
I'll move that we appoint David Tudor to the executive committee.
Oh, seconder.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next is a recommendation to approve the PBSC service level agreement.
I move we approve the PBSC service level agreement.
Will the seconder? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
With regards to the PBSC service level agreement, that document's going to ratify standards where the PBSC has to fulfill certain obligations to the municipality. It's a standard document they're doing across Nova Scotia with all the respective municipalities, and it's we've never had anything formalized in the past, and they've been in operation for a little over 10 years, and this is the first time. Next is recommendations to approve the updated HR policies 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, and 9. And I'm going to ask Deputy CAO to maybe give a high level on that.
As we've discussed with council before, we formed an HR committee just about a year ago to review the entire HR manual. It hasn't been done in many years in a complete way like that. So we went through, a lot of it was focusing on modernizing the language. The old policy still had a lot of gender references to he's specifically, and then we removed the gender references. We modernized it. We looked at the maternity policy and brought it in line with some of the expanded leaves that the provincial and federal, the timelines lining up with 18 months instead of 1 year. We looked at the bereavement leave section. Modernized our storm day policy with inclement weather for staff, and reviewed, I guess, all sections, and we'll see with the next few items, added a few new policies.
I move approval of the updated HR policies 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, and 9.
I have my hand.
Oops, sorry.
I have a concern over policy 3004 under court attendance jury duty. And my concern is where it says that if I go for duty, all amounts of pay must be turned over to the municipality as receiving their wages. No, that's their mileage, that's a meal. I disagree with that. I think that should be removed. On policy 3004.
Yep, I just
sorry. I thought, yes.
They have to hand over their per diem that they get from the province.
It's saying hand over everything, and I disagree with that. I went through the policy, and that was a part that I didn't agree with.
Is that because they maintain their pay during it?
Yeah, but whether I get paid for a meal or travel, it's got nothing to do with the other. When the employee has, go down further,
Yeah, right there, Paul.
all right, there, yeah, it says here, when an employee has been, summoned by jury duty, the employee's normal, straight time salary shall be, oh my God, continued during the period of jury duty. But it says, and this is the part I disagree with, in these circumstances, the employee shall be required to turn over to the municipality all amounts to jury duty other than travel expenses. Well, the only thing they receive is they would get, money for meals. So I think that should be out of there. It's just, in these it's just gone. Like, we pay them if they go. But that last line
You
should
don't
be
get a certain
gone.
amount a day?
Pardon me?
You don't get a certain amount a day for?
They
per
were
day?
paying $6.
Ask the deputy for clarity on this.
So, I guess the first thing I would like to clarify, this wasn't one of the policies that we revised when the committee
It's an
reviewed
old
this.
one.
What we decided is the rate was somewhere around $10 or under, and where the salary was continuing, the group didn't see a problem with if you did receive $10 that you turned it over because you were getting paid your full-time wage.
But I do have a problem.
Yeah, no, just that's what the committee reviewed.
So you have a problem now, you didn't mention it with the committee at the time, so.
Because
how
it
do we-
wasn't-
No, how do we proceed?
So real easy, I'd like to make an amendment to that policy.
The other option is we can make an amendment here and council can vote on it, or we can recommend that one particular policy can go back to bylaw and policy and then have a discussion on it. Either way, if no one has a problem, we can do it tonight. Or if there's further discussion, then it could go back to bylaw and policy. Either way.
I make a motion to refer, item, what was it, 3004? Back to, bylaw and policy for discussion.
Do I have a second?
It's non-debatable, so it's either passed or. It's a non-debatable when he wants to refer something. So it's either it's seconded and then it's voted on.
I haven't asked for a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
I guess it's going to go back for bylaw and policy.
So the other policies, so we still need a motion to.
I made that motion, didn't I?
No.
Okay. I move approval of the human resource policies, 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, and 9.
Except for
With the exception of 3004, which will be pushed back to the committee level, on policy.
Do I have a seconder? Any more questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
Mr. Ward, could, we have our deputy check into, and see how much the pay is for, the jury duties, so we'll have an idea of if we want to go that route or provide a meal allowance or whatever.
Do they provide me?
They did give a meal allowance for lunch, and sometimes if it was late supper, but off lunch usually, and that was a very small amount. And like I said, the last person that made duty that I knew of at the hospital was paid $6 a day, and they received their wages, and we certainly didn't take back what they got.
Okay. The next is recommendation to approve the new policy, internet and mobile device acceptable use.
I move approval of the new internet policy and mobile device acceptable use recommendations.
Any questions on this or comments? Policies to just bring this up to where it should be today with the usage of municipal property when it comes to computers and cell phones. All in favor?
Aye.
The next recommendation is to approve the new policy provision of work apparel.
I move the new policy provision, for work apparel.
Do I have a second? Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Approved. The next is a recommendation to approve staff registering a booth in the Rural and Remote Medicine Course Conference.
I so move that we, approve staff registering a booth in the Rural and Remote Medicine Course Conference.
And on that, we're gonna hopefully be able to connect with some rural doctors across Canada, and with the help of Dr. Curtis and his wife. This is how we got this information in the first place, and hopefully we can try to recruit more doctors for this community.
If you need any follow-ups, let me know.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved.
Well, maybe I will forget that.
The next recommendation is to approve the acceptance of the letter of authority for the trail bed received from the Nova Scotia Lands and Forestry.
I recommend to approve the acceptance letter of authority for the trail bed received from Nova Scotia Lands and Forestry.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. The next recommendation is to proceed with negotiations with Compass Nova Scotia Cooperative Homes Limited on the purchase of the Barton School.
Mr. Warden,
Yes.
if you please, I realize we're under Robert's Rules of Orders, but I would like clarification, and we all would like clarification of this, because it's clear as mud as it stands right now. And since we are the people who are going to tolerate this incursion into our area, we should at least be clarified in why. Why an American company? Is it not American? No?
Canadian,
Is it Canadian?
yes.
Then how can you negotiate the sale when I have the deed here of the property? I'm representing the Spates family. With all due respect, sir, I would suggest that you clarify that you actually have the right to own the land. The land was given under the premise by Mr. Spates for the use of the people of that area to their benefit. Now you're telling us that bringing in a group of low income, parachuted into a small community, as Barton is going to be good? On the contrary, sir, I believe it would be very negative to all the citizens of Barton. The people, the very people who are responsible for donating that land, live right across the road. And I would suggest you revisit it and think about it, because I don't think it's going to fly. Thank you very much.
And sir, with respect, we also, the St. Mary's Bay Community Association, we object to the lack of transparency, the lack of respect that you've shown for our grassroots organization and our, we feel misled, and we object to this.
Well, just for clarity on this, before we make the motion, we did an ROI to get expressions of interest from the community, or anybody that wanted to put an expression in on that property. And we had two applications that came forward. One was from the St. Mary's Bay community, and one was from Compass. Compass is not, it's affordable housing, and they've got affordable housing complex in Argyle and in Shelburne as well. And this community needs affordable housing as much as they need anything else. And it's not just for low income. It's affordable housing for seniors, for young people. And we had both applications come forward. Each individual councillor scored the appropriate request for expression of interest on the property. The tally was totaled up, and there was such a spread in the two proposals that the feeling of council was that they didn't feel there was a purpose to go back and continue to talk and talk and talk, because we had two good proposals that was put forward. One weighed out heavier than the other one did.
Money.
No, it's got nothing to do with money.
Money.
So, because
It has all to do with it.
if this goes forward, then the property is going to be given to Compass no different than if it was going to be given to St. Mary's Bay Community Center. And there is a component to this here application where there's community space involvement there as well. And they want to respect the school and the property, and they want to designate a certain portion of the building for community use. So it's not just all going to be housing. So
What do you think you're gonna put down there and have anything?
anyway,
If I may, we have a thick packet of addendum materials that we intended to present when we finally got word from you that we could make our formal 1-hour presentation before the entire group. We had previously a 10-minute opportunity to present many, many programs that we had at that point. Since then, the entire project has blossomed. And we were waiting patiently because Mr. McAlpine, you and two other times have promised us that we would have our day in court. And we have not had that. We have not presented you anywhere near our packet of material, which must be reviewed and evaluated under your number system. That did not happen. And until that happens, we feel as though we really have not been allowed to participate fairly in this process.
we had a discussion when we did the evaluation on the proposals that came forward, and we discussed having the community group come back before us, and council's feelings was that they didn't feel that there was enough. They looked at the proposal that was put forward by St. Mary's Bay Community Center, and they scored it on the merits of what was put forward at that time. And they also scored what was put forward by Compass at that time.
I'll just say a little, I'll go ahead and bring a little bit of it all together. In 2017, the school board deemed the Barton Consolidated School to be surplus to its needs, and as permitted under the Education Act, handed the property back to the municipality of Dickinson. The municipality also deemed it as a surplus to its needs, therefore issued a request for expression of interest to receive two proposals from the community: St. Mary's Bay Community Center and Compass Nova Scotia Cooperative Home Limited. Both proposals requested the municipality transfer the property to their organization at no cost. Both proposals were evaluated based on basic principles established by council: financial self-sustainability, experience and ability, community appropriateness, benefit to the community at large. I can go on with the rest, but I mean, you have to put a motion through, and then I can speak for Compass. But how do we want to?
What about us? You keep doing it for us, not Compass.
Warden,
Think about it.
A question.
Warden, with all due respect, I think this particular issue is a very heated issue. And there's going to be about 300 people come forward and explain how heated it is. It's not going to happen tonight. We're not giving up on this. Okay? I'm requesting that you make a motion that you table this for 2 months. And at that time, have a chance to hear our group, have a chance to then reassess weighing of the points, okay? Because we have felt we've been disrespected the whole time because you have not allowed us to make a presentation. And that's why I'm making this request on behalf of the group. And I would suggest that you do that, because if not, this could end up in court. Because you may not even own the property.
I think we do own the property. I do think that we do.
You do.
Well,
You have that?
Do you have a deed?
but,
You don't.
No, you don't.
Exactly.
Okay? You don't have a deed. So, my request is done respectfully, and I hope you honor it. Thank you.
Just want to add just a little information about the process and the process for issuing requests for proposals, or in this case, expressions of interest. It's like for any other contract for services that the municipality would issue. You need your proposal, and you put your proposal forward by a certain date. So at that time, and then it's the closing date at that time, those are what the two proposals are evaluated on. I think all that information was included in the request for expressions of interest. For us to have addendums to them, like everything should have been included at that time in the request for proposal. I'm just suggesting that there are processes that have to be followed. You can't go and say, well, this is, we had somebody who was bidding on to do work for the municipality, and one bid, $10,000, and the other said, I'm going to do 8. Normally you pick the lowest one. You can't go back to the one that said 10 and say, well, can you do better? Like, you're not. Anyway, that's just my point.
You said there was a process that had to be followed for the document. The process included a 1-hour presentation by 3 speakers. We were not given that chance as a part of that process.
The wording in the document was that council may require the proponents to present to council. And I think it mentioned that if there was shortlisted, if there was a number of proposals and it was shortlisted, council had the option, may bring the groups in. And I think to the warden's point, so the St. Mary's Bay group, their score was 54.4%. The Compass Nova Scotia Cooperative was 88.6%, I believe. So the proposals based on the financial documents and everything that was submitted was what council based their decision on. And just putting that out there.
So you didn't follow the proposal that you put out?
The proposal that we put out said that council may require.
No.
But
No.
you promised us, not without with no restrictions. You didn't say, we may let you speak. 3 times you said, we will let you speak. We trusted you. Jimmy, I trusted you when you said to us that no decision would be made until our group has made its formal presentation. And our formal presentation also includes additional information which had grown since our submission of our program. Now, through access to information, I hope we don't have to go that route, but we ask that you be absolutely transparent in how many times you met with this other group face to face and talked with them. With us, you have met with us twice, 5 minutes for 2 people. If you have met with the other group for information about their programs, to understand their programs, in order to represent their programs in your system, if you did it for more than 10 minutes with 2 people, then this system is not fair. You have met with us for 10 minutes. 2 people could speak 5 minutes each. And we had this addendum of materials about our leadership, about the programs that had grown in the meantime, about the response of the community. And that would be presented during our 1 hour presentation and update. That did not happen. It is an unfair and therefore an unjust and therefore an unethical.
And we didn't get taken out to lunch.
Lunch.
Exactly.
What are you talking about?
You know.
Hey, wait a minute. This is a council meeting, and, you know, we've been allowing people to speak from the floor because I know it's a very contentious issue, and it touches a lot of people's hearts. With regards to the meeting, I wanted us to have the chance for you to come forward and speak. We, as a council, had a decision, we had talked about this, and they felt, and council feels that if it spread so far apart between the two organizations, that they didn't feel that it warranted having a meeting. Now, and we never met with Compass either. Regarding the Barton property, we've never met with Compass. That organization, I believe, came to council once, quite a while ago, expressing an interest in any municipal properties for the ability to put up affordable housing in somewhere in the municipality. There was no indication on any lands that we may have. And I believe that was even before, I could be wrong, but I think that was even before the Barton School had even been closed down. So that was quite a while ago. But they've never ever came before council to talk to us about this school. And I believe that's fair statement.
So they did not have an hour's session with you?
No, they did not. I've never even met the people. So.
Well, you certainly promised us.
I know I did.
And you needed that input of all the additional materials, the bio of our leadership, our experience, the professionalism of the staff that would be volunteering for this. You needed all that information. All that information was not given because we patiently and in trust waited for you to give us our chance, which you promised. And then I hear, no, we decided we didn't need to hear from you because you didn't have enough points, because we didn't have a chance to express. This is an organic movement here. Every day new ideas and new skills and new volunteers are appearing. And so it was 5 months between our having 10 minutes with you and us waiting to present the new material and the added vision of our project. All of that would have been points, including written materials, which we were ready to present, which we have ready to present. Excuse me, you had something?
No, I do. Gordon, with all due respect, I'm requesting again, you table this till we have a fair chance to present our proposal again. It's quite serious. We're very upset, as you can tell by the amount of people who have come out, and we have expression of interest of quite a few people from Weymouth all the way up. Okay, because this touches on a lot of people. And then I have one question. Is there any money exchanged between Compass and the municipality of Digby?
No, we haven't had any money exchanged.
No, are there going to be, is this a monetary exchange? They're buying the property?
No.
Both requested.
Both is for us to turn that property over to the respective.
Thank you. That's all I want to know.
At this time, it's up to the council. There was a recommendation to proceed to negotiations, and so at this time, the council has to make a decision on moving forward. So I have to call for a motion.
I'm going to make a motion to proceed with negotiations with Compass Nova Scotia and Cooperative Homes Limited on the purchase of the Barton School.
And I need a second.
Second.
Discussion.
We have the Island Manor on the islands, and that's made an amazing difference in the quality of life of islanders. I'm in and out of there 4 or 5 times a week. It means the difference between dying alone in a house that's not heated, or it's the difference between people being shipped off to Annapolis or Yarmouth and never see them again. It's been an amazing thing. It's probably the number 2 most important piece of infrastructure we got down there. And this is far more expansive than what we have in the island. And there's plenty of room. If anyone takes a minute and reads this presentation that Compass has put together, there's more than ample room for the community to be involved. And I would think that this is actually a bit of a...
We would have read it.
Proposals that.
There never was.
No, we
Never
don't,
read it.
you don't share proposals
No, see?
before, it's up to Compass. I mean, there's financial information in your proposal, there's financial information in terms of their financial statements, like that was in yours, that are in theirs. Those things are private financial information.
As I was saying, we don't have to leave the islands to die, and that's an amazing thing. And people don't have money. I know that people are talking about how awful it would be to have poor people there. Well, most of my neighbors are poor. Almost everybody I know makes around $20,000 a year, and they deserve to have their end years in a place with dignity and comfort and treated well by everybody in the community, and not just it's not just the people with the money. Sorry, got a little angry. I made a motion, and it's been an amazing thing what we have in the islands, and you guys should be opening your arms, is what I think, and accepting this sort of thing. This is amazing for you. This isn't bad. This isn't cutting you guys off. This is an opportunity for the community to work together and have something wonderful.
Jimmy? Given what we got in the request of expressions, given the 60-page report on the need for affordable housing in southwestern Nova Scotia and the principles established above, Council has chosen Compass Nova Scotia, Cooperative Homes Limited. Compass Nova Scotia indicated in their report that Digby has one of the highest poverty rates in the southwest region. And as other communities, municipalities, and towns, we all lack in affordable housing for these people. In Compass Nova Scotia's proposal, they are going to preserve and restore the Barton School structure so that this building can continue giving back to the community since 1961. The project will consist of 8 to 10 rental units inside the existing building, with construction of a new structure to bring the total number of units to 25. Compass would also like to dedicate some space in the building to preserve the history of the school and to dedicate a room for community use. The benefits to having a safe, clean co-op in the area is plenty. The economic spin-offs for construction, maintenance, and security jobs, it boosts the local stores in the area and will benefit the use of the local post office just up the road. Ridership on King's Transit bus will increase. Available housing will retain people in the Digby area, and healthier living decreases the draw on other resources in the community. Council believes this project will be something for everybody, not just in the community, but in the municipality will be able to take pride and be proud of.
Any other comments?
Myself, I look at this as an opportunity for the community. You're going to be able to have a building, or at least a room in a building. You don't have to worry about maintenance of that building, upkeep or whatever. You take over the whole building. That's a big expense, just from the get-go. Heat that thing, keep it maintained, just keep the building. So with Compass owning the building, you get your room inside, you can hold your events inside, you can have a community gardens outside. Like, there's a lot of things you can do without having the weight of all the burden of that building on you.
We already got it taken care of.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
We're already had it looked after.
Well, we were planning or proposing was something for the community. It was not about money at all. It was whatever money comes in is for the house and the area, and the rest goes back to the community. So if you're telling me that this proposal with this company is a non-for-profit company, doesn't mean that all people live for free, and the money is given to the community that they make there, or what's the, because this is definitely not the same thought for not-for-profit as what we, with our society, proposed. Our society means whatever money we make goes back to the community, and it would have enhanced many lives there. And it's the communities, your constituents that actually asks you, that's what they want. This is not a competition between one person and another. It's what this community and many of your voters want. And they want to talk about it. This is really what it is about. It's not saying anything bad about this other project. It's more saying we have gone through a process over several months, asking the community. It's not our idea. That's the idea of 300 people in class that we have written this together. We have made a business plan, and yes, there's things that you can't write in a business plan that you have to talk about if you get a question. And, business plan, we try to make it as tight as possible, so it wouldn't be such a hard job for you to read through it. But it doesn't say everything that we were proposing here.
Deputy Warden, do you have any comments?
My only comment was that I went through both proposals, and the decision is made on what we were given.
We didn't get the chance to say.
Anything else?
That's why we requested it to be tabled.
Well,
Tabling it is not going to hurt it. Tabling is only going to give us a chance to prevent our final proposal. We were not told this was time sensitive. We were misled into believing that we would have a chance to speak. So as a consequence, if the system wasn't fair to us directly, we have to come back and say, look, table this, give us 2 weeks. Is it going to change the project? 2 weeks? I doubt it. It's a fair request from a group of people representing 300.
Jimmy, I can see you're having a problem. I can see in your mind that you're having a problem with this. You're trying to be honest.
Well, I know, but I mean,
And I can see that. Jimmy. And everybody here can sense it.
anyway, as a council, the way council operates, councilors vote on recommendations or motions that come forward, and everybody has to vote the way they feel on the situation. And all I can do is run the meeting the way I'm supposed to do it. And there was a motion put on the floor, and it was seconded. And there's been discussion on the motion. And if council's got no other discussions on it, then I have to call for a vote. Yeah, that's the way I have to do it.
There was a vast gulf between the two proposals, and myself, I didn't see any benefit in hauling you guys out for a few more weeks because it's just qualitatively different.
You should have done.
You should have done what you should have done, but you
The request for tabling was initially done before the motion started.
That's right.
You can't make the request, the councilor has to. So
I requested to you, who is the warden.
I'm not the one that makes the request for tabling. It's the council that does that. So council has to do that. So there's been a motion on the floor. All in favor of the motion?
I would like to make a motion to amend an amendment to the original motion that we table this for 2 months until we get clarification of everybody's proposals. So we all have a fair chance at being heard. We are the guys who pay your wages. We only want a fair hearing. And just to ask for an amendment, roll on the amendment to the amendment, give us 2 months to get a clarification.
I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, but
You represent our area?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm asking you to make that amendment.
Amendment to.
Yeah, you can.
Then we'd have to vote that motion.
The original motion would have to be withdrawn and then the second motion.
Well,
I think first.
that's up to council. If they want to propose a motion
motion to amend, but otherwise, it's gonna have to be questioned on the motion.
I don't understand, like, we had a request for expression of interest brought out. Who is your president?
I'm the chair, actually.
You're the chair.
Sean is the deputy chair.
And I'm the vice
Yeah.
chair.
We don't have a president. We work
don't
as
have
a
a president.
collaborative.
But you have all the information in front of you. It was time sensitive, it said, when this was all going to take place. We're trying to make the best decisions we can, and we went with what we had.
We were under the impression that we would have
It
an
says in
opportunity to present.
It says in the request of expression, may. It didn't say you would. And we talked to you guys a couple of times in here. You were at bylaw. I've never met with Compass. I just went by the paperwork I got in front of me in discussions with the council. I see this as a benefit to the community as a whole. I think this is a positive thing. I don't see any negatives in it. You're probably gonna, you're gonna get a community space to work in that you don't have to pay for. There's too many benefits to Compass, and I don't know where this American thing's about it, but I've never.
May I speak again? What is occurring? Why is so much trying to do this?
That
we
year
all
and a half,
have our
and you have to move on. It's been a year and a half.
Has Compass given you a timeline?
I would say that things that need to move on would never be.
I'm sorry.
And if it does move on,
A
what's
question.
going to happen? What is the great big hurry here?
But if we let you come back again, who's to say in 2 months' time you're gonna find something else to bring to council, like it could go on forever and ever?
Well, I would hope
And
so.
then the building will.
We've got a call question on the
Yeah,
motion.
question, call question.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved, I guess. Okay, sorry.
Don't come knocking on the door for votes, because it ain't gonna happen. You'll be sorry. And you went there to do the same thing.
The next item on the business items is the sidewalk extension.
I hope your
on
conscience is gonna
West.
live with it, my buddy. Look over back at me.
It's positive.
You know the story. My people's not gonna forget
If council wishes that to come forward, I guess that's the correct thing. Like, it's not an area, it's not something we've looked at before. I don't know.
Deputy Gordon wants to comment.
Oh, I was waiting for the first thing when we said sidewalk extension. Okay. The reason it was brought forward, it's a very narrow piece of road, and the people all have to go to their mailboxes, and there's a lot of seniors, and they're walking because a lot of them don't drive anymore, and that's why that's come up. There's been concerns over people getting near hit on the road, even though it's 50. Most of them are driving 70, which is neither here nor there, but it's so narrow. Like, and the seniors, a lot of our, what do you call it? The dirt part. Shoulder is not there. So it's.
So how much, you have to find out how far this is gonna be and what the cost.
Oh, I'm bringing it forward. Could we look at it? I'm not expecting an answer tonight. I'm expecting to have staff.
Yeah.
Well, that would be my hope, that staff would investigate and that type of thing.
That was going to be my comment on, at an upcoming bylaw and policy, we can take, again, I guess, to reiterate, there are no sidewalk expansion plans here. But we could do a preliminary look at, the right-of-way is always a very challenging issue, where the road actually is located, where the right-of-way is in relation to people's front lawns and homes. I would suggest a preliminary, wouldn't be like a cost report, but just even where is the right-of-way, how many homes, distances. In preliminary conversations, there is likelihood that this is a very expensive piece of sidewalk. On either side of the road, we will have to fill in the ditch and culvert the whole section. Either side, both are are open ditches with houses quite close, like Linda said, there's very little shoulder. So just some preliminary work with the mapping, we could get a report together for an upcoming bylaw and policy that would give us a little time before capital budget to get more detailed costing.
What about talking to the post office? Is that what they're going to, a post office box? Yeah, well, why don't we have that moved to a safe spot instead of spending a ton of money?
And there is no, these people are already now traveling 10 clicks to get
Well, I'm
there.
wondering if there might be something in another spot, I don't know.
You know, for 15.
Walking?
No, but I mean, like, it goes out to the end of Cologne that come in, and it goes out part of White House Road that come in.
You can't think of a safer spot along there, it's already in the safest spot?
They're not gonna let you have the golf course parking lot, that's
For
too busy.
vehicle traffic, the current spot is very convenient.
Parking lot.
For the
Got them down.
small area of getting housing.
Near walking. Near walking.
But like I say, I think at a bylaw and policy meeting, we could have the overhead mapping with some images, look at the roadway, and I say just some preliminary information,
I move to forward this to bylaw and policy?
Budget discussion.
The budget, sorry.
Yeah, the other thing is too, to this, is if we thought that it's something that we may want to look at, you still have to go out and talk to the public, because they have to pay an area rate.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, I mean, like, if
They area rate for that?
Yes, their area
Well,
rate.
sidewalk, of course.
So that would have to be done as well.
I just, like I said, I wanted it to be.
So we have a motion to refer to the budget discussions.
Any second?
So move that we move it to budget discussion, do a preliminary investigation and move it to budget discussion.
We have a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. The next is, we've got some funding requests here. The first one is the Digby Area Tourism Association.
Can I ask, I looked at them all, and I'm thinking that we need it now, so I would like to make a motion that 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, all four be, put to the budget process.
A motion to move the funding request for the Digby Area Tourism Association, Southwest Nova Scotia Advisory Society, Weymouth Amateur Athletics Association, and the Yarmouth Hospital Aids Authority.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next is under business items, it's 5.3, which is the fireworks regulations. And that's been brought
Oh,
forward.
scaring dogs.
Again, this was sent to me, and, I would, again, like to have some investigation done. I've been trying to look up some stuff, you know, and where I'm looking, the only places we have fireworks in the municipality is in Bear River and in Weymouth.
No. Westport has the fireworks every year for Canada.
Oh, I'm sorry, in Westport. And so my concern
And Tiverton.
is, are they close to farm animals? Are they, you know, and that's the stuff I wanted to look it up, because that's the concern, because of farm animals being hurt during fireworks, because they've been brought too close.
I don't believe that when I read that letter, they were referring to the major events that happened, because those major events don't happen in agricultural areas, but I think they're mainly referring to people buying fireworks and shooting them off, and close to cattle and horses.
Well, I mean, there would be cattle, if it's in Tiverton, or not cattle, there's horses.
And cattle.
Yeah, I mean, there are.
It's a fair river maybe, but Weymouth, I don't think it, downtown Weymouth, there's not too much.
Where they shoot them off, I don't think it's close to animals.
But I would.
Also, I'll toss something out. There has been a rash of people getting rid of fireworks in places with ecotourism destinations because it causes chaos amongst the animals on particular islands in, I want to say the south. So it is something that's being popped around because it does cause chaos, but I don't know how much of a big deal it is.
That's the thing. I wanted it sort of looked at our places and was there concerns from the area?
There is issues.
I don't know.
We haven't received any concerns. I know this letter is asking for someone to sign a
Oh, yes,
petition.
but
I don't know
but-
if it's looking for us to develop a bylaw or if we even have the authority to develop a bylaw.
No, like I said, I just wanted to look because it is coming out of Brighton from Greta Reddick. I'm forward. It came to me, and I thought, well, maybe it's something we should look at. Because it is gonna come to us eventually.
Like Louise just canceled it, too.
I was just trying to get ahead of it and say, this is
They
what we
canceled
look at,
Fiber Lake Louise.
this is what can be done. Can't be, you know,
One thing we could do, my thought would be on it, would be to, write a letter to the Department of Agriculture, to find out if they've got any regulations pertaining to the use of, fireworks around, farms. I mean, other than that, I don't know.
well, that's, like I said, it's a center.
But that would be, I think what we could do is write a letter to the Department of Agriculture. You know, Jeff?
I don't think we need a motion, do we?
Just some first keep our eyes on
Just
you.
a direction to staff to contact the Department
Like Louise is going to create for wild animals, which is why they're doing it. It's not about domestic
Next
animals.
council, not before.
The next piece of business is Upper Clemens Park Society letter of support. And this is submit a letter to the Premier asking to support some short-term financing to help the park get through till the spring, and also for some funding for materials to do some capital work on the park, where they've got a project in place now with Nova Scotia Works, who are going to they're going to provide the workforce and the employees, so it wouldn't cost the park any money, but they need the funds to purchase the material, and so what they ask in the letter is going to be if they can receive $50,000 by the end of January and $100,000 by April the 1st to support the operations until the spring.
I so move we send a letter of support to the Premier for the Upper Clemens Park for provincial funding.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Is there anything else you wanted to add to that? Councilor Rob? Nope. The next business item is that I just received in the mail the request to see if for us to attend the 12th annual Southwest African Heritage Month dinner and gala dance on Saturday, February the 23rd. In the past, we've always purchased a table, and we have been asked again by.
I so move that we purchase a table for the, with a gala.
160. The Southwest African Heritage Month gala.
And, no, I was just trying to.
Any questions?
Like even more.
All in favor?
Aye.
Same place, Jimmy, at the Legion?
Yeah.
Where is it?
I can send it.
I give it to Linda to send it to everybody.
I always think of going to those things, but I always think of kids stuff. Yeah.
The date is February 23rd at the Legion,
Oh, what time?
6:30.
6:30.
Okay. You've seen the correspondence. It was a letter from Superintendent Julie Moss, just introducing herself to us.
She's a good big cheese, huh?
New superintendent for Southwest Nova District.
Good for her.
We got to meet her on Thursday. On Thursday at the launch for African Heritage. It used to be African Heritage Month, and she was very pleasant. So yeah, it was nice. I thought that she came. There was 4 RCMP officers there that day.
The next piece was general information from the RAN.
No, only that Terry Thibodeau is going to be involved in that project. And I think Evan is leading it on behalf of the REN.
Evan is what?
Evan is the staff from the REN that is part of this project.
Which project?
The upcoming, the Western Regional, they've got funding
Oh,
for
yeah.
the regional energy project.
So I thought you said you believed it, that's why
No, leading,
No,
sorry.
that's why I asked
No,
again.
leading.
That's why when you repeated, I was okay, it was like, she didn't say that, did she?
Okay, the next is the advisory committee, reports, the Heritage Advisory, November 2018 minutes. Is there any questions? Hearing none, we've got the Joint RCMP Advisory Board from September 2018 minutes. Any questions? The next is the Western Regional Housing Authority report. Any comments on that? The next is we'll go to joint intermunicipal committees, the minutes and reports. We've got the Digby Area Recreation Commission, January 2018 AGM minutes, November and December 2018 minutes. Recreation Directors, Facility Managers, and Active Living, December and January reports. Any questions pertaining to any of those reports? The next is the Digby Municipal Fire Association, the minutes from September and December of 2018. Are there any questions?
Do we get any applications for long service awards from anybody?
That hasn't gone to the meeting.
Okay.
And it's been sent out to them.
Okay, but Linda was gonna be talking about it at the next meeting.
And I've already called them because they didn't have me down for the September the 19th meeting, and I was there, but I came in late. So where I hadn't signed the papers, so they were gonna check it out.
Okay, the next is the King's Transit, October 2018 minutes. Are there any questions?
Just remember, he is coming in on the 4th. He is with us. They're going to be asked, a little letter that has come out to Linda and myself, saying that, and I told them why I disagreed with it, that they are having everything looked at, so they don't want to give us a budget until the end of May. And I told them that that wasn't fair, because we always had our budget done and approved in May or June. Of course, I'm not allowed to vote, and they listened, but all the rest of them felt it was okay, but they were just gonna look at it being maybe a little bit more than what it was. So I thought when Glenn came here, we need to talk, and I told Glenn we would be talking more about that, because I said, we need to have a ballpark idea.
We're gonna have some figures.
Because May 31st is too late.
Oh, we're gonna add another 40 or 50
Well,
thousand.
I don't know. Because when they said, well, last year, I said, no, you approved of a budget, then you took it back. I said, I've never seen that happen before, then you approved it again. And the CAO did agree that that's what happened, even though they first said, no, that isn't what happened. Yeah, that is what happened.
Okay, the next is the Senior Safety June and December minutes, November 2018 Foundation report, June and September 2018 coordinated reports. Any questions? Next is Skyview Terrace for October, November, and December 2018 minutes. Nothing there. Voice Check Mobius Award 2018 winners, the October 2018 minutes, meeting notes, and Voice Check Connections October, November, and December.
There is going to be a meeting in February, and we are going to try it by Skype again, or what's the proper word, it's not Skype.
Skype is actually what we use for these ones.
Oh, okay. What's Skype? So they did say that most of the people were in Yarmouth, so the meeting is set for 3 up here. So they're going to try it and see. We're going to be working on budget. And I told him, I think that's going to be rather hard to be Skyping on the budget when you're trying to, I want to see how people are looking and feeling. But anyway, and we have a policy upcoming this week on Friday.
Any questions on Voice Checks?
Nope.
I have one comment. Pertaining to Voice Check, because of the meeting we had with TIR last last week. And now possibly the opportunity to have community groups or volunteers to do some cleanup. Could you take it back to Waste Check and see if there's anything that they can help maybe facilitate?
I've already done that. They will give gloves, bags, all that type of thing. Best, they do it all.
And another question on that, 'cause I don't remember if they still do it or not. They used to have a fund where they give donations.
That fund's gone.
That's gone now.
They shoot you a couple bucks for cleaning up. Yeah.
So is that?
Can you find out whether Argyle still has their own personal fund? If they have one outside of Argyle?
They did last year, so I haven't checked for this year because their budget isn't out, but they did.
Can you ask about it?
Like I'm saying, last year they told us they still had it.
Right. But how much money did they put into it?
Oh,
That's what I was wondering.
I don't remember. I'll have to check.
That budget's good, a good use of money because it gets all the young people thinking about these sorts of things, and then as they get older, it's they hopefully take those lessons. Yeah, it's a way to make a few bucks teaching a kid how to work, and it's not much money, and they work hard. Good combo. Kids working.
Okay, the next thing is the Western County Regional Library, the early 2018 minutes. And one thing I want to add to that is that tomorrow there's a meeting in Yarmouth that the Community Culture and Heritage is hosting, and what they're going to be doing is rolling out what they're proposing for funding increases. And the province is going to put more money in, but the impact on municipalities is that the province pays 72% of the operating costs of libraries.
So if they put in more, we have to
pay more too, because if they increase their funding, then our formula, the way it works is 72% for the province, 26% for municipalities, and 3% for the boards. So just say for every $1 million that the province put in, well then, the formula would be of every $1 million, then we'd have to put in $260,000. That's talking province-wide.
That's a lot. Well, it's not too much province-wide.
I'm talking province-wide. I'm just saying if there was $1 million increase to the fund.
Is this the first one in like 10 years?
This is the first increase in 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
To the core fund.
Wow.
The province has given us what they call a one-time grant for funding increase, but now this is the third year they've given us a one-time grant, and they gave it to us again this year because in order for them to move forward with this increase of funds for libraries, they have to give municipalities a 12 months notice, and so they would want to do that no later than the 1st of April, so it could come into place for the following year. So just wanted to give you a heads up that that's what they're going to be talking about tomorrow in Yarmouth, if anybody's going.
No, a little too far. I was thinking, I've always had an eye on the libraries. I've always been a little interested in them, but yeah, it's a little too far.
The next is the outside boards committee minutes and reports. The BB&F Tourism Association Marketing Committee, October 2018 minutes, and November and December 2018 minutes. Anything on that?
I've been asked to talk to a couple people they want to continue talking to me about. So,
yeah.
Just quietly, privately, not officially. I'm making it super clear that I'm not talking on behalf of anybody. I'm just trying to convince them that it might be a good idea. Room level. I'm trying to convince my parents too. It's a bunch of them. I think it's good. And they really should do it.
The next thing is the Southwest Biosphere update in September 2018 minutes. Anything on that? If not, the last one is the Upper Commons Park Society. You've got the November 2018 minutes. Any questions on that? Okay, we're going to now go on to the Council District Activity Reports, and I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to start with Councilor Mandel.
mine will be short, so, because I left I changed booklets in December, and I left my December one, my other one home, so I can't remember the stuff I did in December. And January has been, quiet, other than outside meetings, but regular meetings, council, board meetings and stuff, but other than that, nothing else going on.
I had the MLA Zach Churchill down. We've been working on getting that school renovated or rebuilt in the exact same position. As you know, the gun report suggested it be replaced by primary to 6 East Ferry. So we've been on the warpath ever since, trying to be very prepared. And Zach Churchill and MLA came, and I knew that they were coming down. They expected me to pop in for a meeting for 30 minutes, but my car needed to be fixed. So I had to drive to Digby and hitchhike back for Gordon and the minister. So instead of 15 minutes, just 30 minutes, became 5-6 hours. So 5-6 hours of how incredibly important it is we get a school, essentially, and it went very well. He's not going to be able to ever think of the islands and then think of that school, no matter what. I was starting to irritate myself. I'll put it that way. Ferry Approaches project, I'm hearing really good things on the bureaucrat side. The bureaucrats are all behind it. They think it's a great idea, and that's all I care about. Food bank, like always, rescued once again by my beautiful students of ICS. It's all tactful again. Mental health issues, taking people to the doctor, taking people to social work, trying to convince people to get service. People have a tendency to isolate themselves, and it can be a little bit tough to talk them into it, especially if people tend to deny that they have mental health, so you sort of try to, it's pretty tough. Yeah. And also I have a, oh, sorry, I lost it. You joke there. TIR calls, everybody's complaining. I send a bunch of stuff to TIR, so I make sure to call the 1-800 number first. I'm pushing SOAR, the title on the islands. The only thing that's looking good for title is down where we are. The micro grid possibilities and the micro testing zone. I've been talked to people I've been researching it, and I've been talking to the various experts that come to the islands, and they all say the same thing. It's way better than what they got in Scotland, which is the premier testing place in the planet right now. And what we have, as he put it, no comparison how much better ours was. And so I see the possibility of a new industry down there. And me and Greg, we meet up regularly and tell him whatever you want me to do. Yeah, then pushing the room levy. I get told off. People don't like it. I have a dog with a bone. I think it really will help my district if we have a room levy. Whether or not everybody, of course, who has rooms disagree at this point, but I'm still plugging away. And they're not angry at me or anything. They're just like, well, David, come back in 2 weeks. I've got these questions for you. And I talked to the women, she gave me a couple of answers, so I'm just waiting for them to come back from their holiday. That's it. No, the school, though, you stay there at 6 o'clock. You'd be arrested. I'd be straight to jail if they did that. Bring a couple hundred people with me, too.
Councilor Ross.
You get December and January. Yeah, I guess December helped them with Santa breakfast, Seniors Day, breakfast at the Burton Church. Actually, she didn't have breakfast with the Solomon Lodge. Taking lots of calls to TIR lately. Also, had a lot of calls to
I attended some Christmas parties, but I highlight the Digby Admiral Museum for their Christmas sing-song and get-together. It's always very nice. I attended Darcy and a Jellers that come in the Curling Club. I attended a biodiversity workshop in Truro. I attended the Susan Seniors Christmas get-together. I also attended Eddie McDonald's Going Away party, and that was very hadn't seen, so it was nice to see them as well. I also went in for the Christmas fundraiser, shocked everybody because I actually got there at 5:30. Usually I get there closer to 6. And I think we had a lot of fun. Nice seeing the kids, and it's the first time that we had enough food. Normally go around a little bit, and it was really good. I will say, usually Linda attends what she did, and I'm sure she'll keep attending because she just loves watching all those kids. And me being Mrs. Santa Claus driving them all crazy. Besides that, I also attended the Seniors Day the last couple of months. I called 1 month, it was sort of fun. A little bit slow with some things. Could have been worse. I also have been looking at going and helping some people out that were having some problems, lack of food, calls, needing some help through the Salvation Army, calls for TIR, which I think every one of us has had because it was so slow to get the plowing of it first, and that was a big problem. And then not putting out anything on the roads, even that prime stuff before. So, which was, and they explained what had happened, so I've been explaining back to the people. But, even though Christmas is in there, it was still busy. Thank you.
Okay, and I'm going to be brief. Highlight for the last month or so was went to Halifax for meetings, and then when I was there, I attended meetings with Terry and some other people pertaining to the renewable energy project that we've been looking at with Signal, and the report that they did for renewable energy opportunities for our municipality. So I met with the Deputy Minister and some of his staff in the Department of Energy twice in the last couple months, and also met with the Premier, and we spoke to him about the renewable energy opportunities as well. He was very, he had some very nice kind words for our municipality on the direction we've taken and the leadership that we have shown when it comes to renewable energy. And so it was all good. We did leave the Department of Energy with an ask to ask them to see if they would contribute $40,000 to finalize the engineering component to the study that we had done. We had a high-level study done, but where we didn't get some other funding to go with it, we weren't able to do it all in the beginning. So hopefully, we haven't heard back yet on that, but we're hopeful that we do soon. The other part too on that, and this is more pertaining to some of our concerns right now, and that's to deal with the generator that we have that's at the anaerobic digester at the down at on the 340. We spoke to the Deputy Minister and staff pertaining to the ability to maybe move that contract to Gore, and we're still, I don't know if we've gotten an official word back on that yet, but I believe I want to have a chance to talk to our MLA about this as well, and to see what kind of influence he can have. I sold it to I believe the guy that's going to make the decision on this in the Department of Energy. He's the one that handled this file, stating that, we got involved with this to try to help us, the mint industry, help them with an issue that they had pertaining to their waste.
That same problem.
And we feel that we could move this to a cattle farm to help them with their waste issue, and it still allows us to fulfill our confit. And well, we have still 14 years to go in STI with the what's it called again? Power purchase agreement, yes. So, and if they'll comply and allow us to do this, we'll get our money back anyway. I think that their hesitation is that they've never done this before, they've never been asked to do this before. But this is a very, very unique situation. I don't think there's another generator in the province hooked up to ComFet that would have been tied to something like this digester. So it's not like it's someone else is going to come down the road tomorrow and ask to have the same thing duplicated. This is a one-off in the province. And like I stated earlier, where the Premier felt we've been very innovative in the way we do things, we shouldn't be penalized for that. So anyway, we had a good discussion with the Department of Energy regarding that as well, and we're hopeful that we get some favorable response back from them soon. So that's all I have to report. So at this time, we have